Hi guys, I am in Animal Kingdom on my field trip, and I'm gonna vlog for you guys. Over here. What is this, guys?
Oh.
Where's the hog? Where's the hog?
Right there.
Oh, there's the hog. That does not look like a hog. I almost fell. I don't know. Okay, guys, we just rode. I don't even know why I'm vlogging. My sister told me to vlog. Okay, hi. We just rode. We didn't ride. We watched. It's tough to be a bug, and now we're gonna be heading to Mount Everest. Am I right? Yeah, Mount Everest. John, do you want to be on the camera? This is my friend, John. This is my friend, John. Monkeys. Look at the mountain, guys. Mount Everest. Yes. We're going on Mount Everest. This is the line queue. Jason, say hi to camera. Say hi to the camera. Jason, say hi to the camera. What? Really? Really? They just skip over. Ethan, are you going to do it? Yes, you're going to do it, Ethan. And this is the line queue so far of This is not camera. John, why are you holding a poncho? No. Why are you bringing the poncho? Yes. We're riding a. That was just uncalled for. Yeah, we're going on a water ride. There's not very much in the line queue, just little things. Then like a little jungle area over there.
It's a Coca-Cola can.
You're on camera.
It's a wheel.
And this is.
My name's Ethan, by the way. I'm the cool one. And the smart one.
Not really.
What are you guys looking at?
I'm the smart one.
Ooh.
There's supposed to be birds in there.
That's Ethan.
Hey.
That's Ethan. Coca-Cola can.
Coca-Cola.
They got eaten by Sylvester.
And like the whole backyard, there's clothes. Like they have one of those things where you wash clothes. They have something else, we scrub. And Coca-Cola, and then the bicycle, and all the way over there in the pack.
Hey, you guys, does that seem normal to y'all?
What?
We waited 30 minutes in a line. Nope.
Hey, you're gonna be on Where's that? Birds. Blue jays and stuff. So Tanner, how was the ride? The water ride?
Awesome. I didn't get wet none.
Yeah, me and Tanner barely got wet. It's just our pants.
I don't think that got wet.
No, that's it.
You look like trash.
It was fun. Very fun.
Today. So if you look over to your right, you'll notice that there is an entering sign. At the bottom, that is a drawing of a sable antelope. They are the national emblem of our reserve. Now guys, it does look like the warden is giving me the all clear, so we are going to go ahead and start off your 2-week safari in the Little Ituri Forest. Now the Little Ituri Forest, it is home to some really cool antelope, so we are just going to go check it out. Maybe see who we can find hanging out in here today.
You guys dare me? Hey, you dare me to say you're pretty?
No, not yet. I'm videotaping.
Now guys, if you look over to your left, you'll notice that there are some bongo hanging out on top of that hill. Now bongo, they are nicknamed the ghost of the forest because they are typically very hard to spot. Now you might notice that their horns are a little bit more slanted back. Now this is because they like to run and dive through all that thick brush, so it actually helps them not to get stuck. Also a little bit further ahead on your left, we have some greater kudu. Now greater kudu, they are the second tallest antelope in Africa. These are actually female greater kudu. Now you can tell because they don't have horns. The male greater kudu, they'll actually grow horns up to 72 inches in length. Now a lot of the animals and antelope that live in the Little Ituri Forest, they have a lot of very neutral colors. Makes blending in with their surroundings super easy, so you never know where we're gonna spot them. Just keep your eyes peeled for any movement. They could pop up anywhere. Now,
We have elephants.
left, it does look like we do have a watering hole. Now, watering holes, they are very important to a lot of different ecosystems, but on occasion, we do have several types of animals that like to hang out around watering holes. So we'll go check it out, maybe see if there's anything hanging out over here today. On occasion, we do have black rhino that like to hang out around watering holes. However, they are solitary, so they do usually like to hang out by themselves. They're also incredibly endangered. There's actually less than 5,000 of them in the world. They're actually hunted for their horns, which is kind of silly considering their horns are made out of keratin. Now, keratin, that is a protein that you can find in both your hair and fingernails.
Then why don't you just get your hair and fingernails? Can you get keratin off of dead fingernails? Or not dead, but dead people's fingernails.
Actually, it looks like we're gonna start heading over towards the Safi River. Now, the Safi River, it is home to some really cool animals like the hippo. However, hippos, they can actually be a little bit harder to spot. They can actually hold their breath and safely submerge for up to 8 minutes at a time. They're also nocturnal, so they actually like to come out of the water mostly at night. They like to come up more towards the edge of the riverbank, eat up some of the brush. So we'll go check it out, see if there's any hippos over here. Actually, looks like there are some hippos over on your right, hanging out in the water.
Where?
It does look like the Safi River continues on a little ways, so we're gonna go check it out. Remember, guys, I do need everybody to stay fully seated for me at all times.
Couldn't see the hippo on the camera.
Oh, it looks like the Safi River goes on a little bit ahead, so we're gonna check it out. See what we can find.
Can a hippo crush a human's body?
Actually, on the island over to your left, it does look like we have some pink-backed pelican. Now, pink-backed pelican, they might not look super pink right now, but during mating season, their back actually does turn a light shade of pink. Kind of looks like they're blushing. Now, hippos, they are actually some of the most dangerous animals in Africa. One, because of their size. Male hippos, they can actually go to be about 5,500 pounds. But they're also incredibly territorial. So they actually do get a little bit aggressive when it comes to where they're staying. Now, over to your left, there is a hippo kind of hanging out in the water. Now, in Greek, hippopotamus, it means a river horse. But they're actually not related to the horse at all. They're related to the whale. Now, you would think that that would make them excellent swimmers, but they actually prefer to walk along more towards the bottom of the riverbank. It's a lot easier for them. Now, it does look like there are some more hippos scattered around, but also looks like the Safi River continues on a little ways. So we'll go check it out, see if there's any more animals up ahead.
Can a hippo crush a watermelon?
Looks like we're gonna go over kind of an older bridge. Bridges actually make me super nervous, so if everybody could stay seated for me, that would be great.
Oh, alligator.
Also looks like there's some Nile crocodile over to your left.
You said alligator, the crocodile.
Now on land, Nile crocodile, they can go 10 miles per hour. And just for a slight comparison, my truck only goes 8 miles an hour, so we're actually just gonna head right on out of here. Hopefully this is the only bridge we have to go over today. Now, on hotter days, Nile crocodile, they'll actually open their mouth to get rid of excess heat. They don't have sweat glands, so opening their mouth is the only way that they can kind of get rid of all that extra heat. It is kind of like how your dog pants. Slightly more terrifying, but along the same idea. However, when they do snap their jaw shut, they can actually close it with about 2,000 pounds of pressure, which the only time I've ever seen my dog do that is when French fries were involved. Now, guys, actually coming up on your right, we're gonna have a baobab tree. Now, baobab trees actually remain leafless 9 months out of the year. That's to conserve water. However, elephants, they've actually been known to hit their tusks up against it, trying to get the water out. Now, baobab trees, they actually live for thousands of years, and their nickname is the upside down tree because it does kind of look like somebody planted it upside down. Now, guys, we are entering the savannah. Now, the savannah, it's a pretty interesting ecosystem, and in Africa, this savannah is known as a superhighway because there are tons and tons and tons of different animals that migrate through here every year. And all of those animals actually play a really cool part in helping to maintain this pretty awesome ecosystem. Now, as we kind of drive around all this taller grass to kind of keep your eyes peeled inside and around it. Some of the antelope do like to use it as a hiding place, which is actually kind of silly considering the antelope are kind of like the lawnmowers of the savannah. They like to trim up all this taller grass. It is an excellent food source for them, but also it helps the new plants around it to grow. Also, if you notice that the undersides of the trees look a little bit bare, it's actually the handiwork of giraffes. Giraffes, they are kind of like pruning shears, so they're going to trim up the undersides of the trees, makes room for all that new light to come through, helps everything underneath it grow. Now, rocks actually make really cool hangout and hiding spots for a lot of different animals, so we're going to go check it out. Maybe see if there's any animals hanging out over here. Actually, on your left, if you look more towards that back rock wall, laying down kind of up against it, there are some African wild dogs. Now, African wild dogs actually differ from your domesticated dogs and wolves because they only have 4 toes. They are also some of the most successful hunters in Africa, even beating out those bigger cats. Now, what makes them so successful is the fact that they hunt as a pack, and they will actually chase their prey until it passes out from exhaustion. Now, African wild dogs, they're incredibly social, can actually run in packs of up to 5 to 15, and something kind of cool about them is when they eat, they actually let their young eat first. Now, looks like coming up on your right and your left, we're actually going to have some termite mounds. Now, termite mounds, they are as solid as concrete, which is a little bit surprising considering they are made out of dirt, saliva, and termite dung. Now, elephants, they actually use the taller ones as scratching posts. And once they whittle them down so they are nice and tiny, that is when the antelope are going to use them as lookouts. They like to kind of perch themselves on top, look over the savannah, make sure there's no predators hanging about. Now, also speaking of elephants, if you notice that there's a lot of fallen trees and tree branches, that is actually the handiwork of elephants. Elephants, they are kind of like bulldozers, so they're going to bulldoze down a lot of those older trees and tree branches. It does make room for all those new trees to grow, but also they can't always reach the leaves on the top of the trees. So instead of searching for a smaller branch, they just knock the whole tree over.
Does it hurt them in any way?
No, it doesn't hurt them.
First question.
No, it actually looks like we have a pretty big clearing coming up ahead. We'll go see if there's any animals hanging out in there. Actually, so you kind of come around this curve on your right, you're going to notice a tinier antelope kind of hanging out with all that taller grass. No, those are springbok. Now, springbok, they only grow to be about 2 to 3 feet tall. They also only weigh about 100 pounds. Now, springbok, they do this really funny thing called pronking. Pronking is the action of running and jumping at the same time. And they can actually reach heights of about 11 feet if they ever get scared or startled. Also looks like we have some wildebeest as well. Now, wildebeest, they are one of the largest migrating animals in Africa. They can migrate in groups of up to 1.5 million and migrate anywhere from 500 to 1,000 miles. Now, when wildebeest go to sleep at night, they actually go to sleep in rows. This is in case they feel a little bit threatened or nervous. They can all just kind of stand up and run away. They don't have to worry about tripping over anybody or trying to figure out where anybody is. Also, in Afrikaans, wildebeest means wild beast. And they actually got this name because if you've ever looked at their faces, they actually kind of look like they are wearing a scary Halloween mask. Actually scared a lot of the local tribes. Also, a little bit further back from those wildebeest, that kind of darker colored antelope, that is a Patterson eland. Now, Patterson eland, they are the tallest antelope in Africa. The grown male, he gets in about 6 feet at the shoulder. He's also going to weigh about 2,000 pounds. Now, also on your right, looks like we have some Maasai giraffe. Now, you can tell they are Maasai because of their spots. Their spots are kind of rougher around the edges, almost jagged. Now, when baby giraffes, like that little one standing up, are born, they are 6 feet tall. Fully grown, they can be anywhere from 18 to 20 feet tall, so they are the tallest animal in the world. Now, giraffes' tongues, they're also black. This is because they spend 16 to 20 hours out of the day eating, so it actually prevents their tongue from getting a sunburn. Now, guys, it actually looks like we're gonna start making our way over to Monkey Point. Now, Monkey Point actually got its name because a troop of mandrills, they decided to make their home there. Now, mandrills, They are the largest monkeys in Africa, with the dominant male weighing about 100 pounds. Everybody else weighing anywhere from 25 to 30 pounds. They're also the most colorful monkey in the world. So the dominant male, he's actually going to look a little bit like Rafiki from the Lion King. He is also going to have a bright blue butt. So if you see a mandrill walking around with a brighter butt, it is actually the dominant male. There's actually some mandrills hanging out on top of that rock over there to your left. They do actually prefer to hang out mostly on the rocks and in some of the thicker brush. Now on our right, we have red clay pits. Now herds of elephants have actually been known to hang out in red clay pits, so I'm thinking there's a way into elephant country somewhere. Ooh, seeing a sign. Let's see what it says. Road closed. Well, that's a little awkward. Wanted to take that road. So I forgot to ask earlier, is today anybody's first safari? Do we have any first-time safari riders on board? Awesome, me too. So I'm not really sure where the road in front of us goes. I hope it goes into elephant country. If it doesn't, this just went from 2 weeks to a month, so I hope you're all packed.
I'm all packed. I just don't.
Road goes.
No, we've been on here for like
Actually,
eight,
looks
like some.
we have to go over an old bridge again. This one looks pretty sturdy though. There's duct tape and rope on it, so not worried.
Duct tape and rope.
We'll just drive nice and slow. That's a fun sound. I like that sound. Oh, everybody, lead to the right. Balance the weighted savior driver. Savior driver.
No.
Oh, it's so scary.
Don't do that.
It just got really hot up here. Oh, okay. Well, does look like we are in elephant country, so I guess we can start keeping our eyes peeled for some elephants. Actually, looks like there's some tusk marks in that red clay. Now, elephants actually eat the red clay. There's a lot of nutrients in it that they can't get from their diet of leaves. Also, a kind of silly fact about elephants is they're actually afraid of that buzzing sound that bees make. Farmers in Kenya, they have been using beehive fences to kind of deter the elephants from sneaking in and eating their crops at night. Now, as silly as that is due to habitat loss, the elephants are being forced more and more into farmer territory, so it does help to make sure everybody stays nice and safe. Looks like you can see some elephants. If you look over your left shoulder, there are some elephants hanging out back there. Now, elephants, they actually use their ears as a cooling system. They have blood vessels that outline the outer rim of their ears, so when they flap them, they can actually cool themselves down up to 15 degrees. They also have super sensitive skin, so they'll often fling dirt and sand on their back. What's this kind of a natural sunblock? Now, elephants, they actually have one of the longest pregnancies in the world. Female elephants, they are pregnant for 22 months. Also, looks like we have a watering hole coming up ahead. Now, elephants, they can actually hold up to 5 gallons of water in their trunk. Looks like coming up on our left, we do have a little baby elephant hanging out by this watering hole.
That's a baby. That's a.
Oh, great.
That is the baby.
Oh!
It also looks like coming up on our
I got that on camera.
Now, greater flamingo. They are the lightest pink out of all the flamingo. However, they are actually not born pink. They are born gray. And they later develop that pink color from the biokeratin and food they eat, like shrimp and algae. Now, actually, coming up on your right is going to be a better view of those Patterson eland that we talked about earlier. They're hanging out in all this brush over to your right.
Yeah, really.
Now, Patterson eland, they can actually jump 6 to 8 feet straight up in the air, so they could actually clear the hood of my truck, no problem. Also, looks like we are heading into white rhino territory. Now, white rhinos, they're significantly bigger than black rhinos. Black
Been in
rhinos
there for, like,
typically
almost
weigh
20
about
minutes.
3,000 pounds. White rhino, they can weigh anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 pounds.
Those elephants.
Now, didn't find
Zebras.
any white
Zebras.
rhino, but it looks
Zebra.
like over to your left we have some
Zebra.
zebra. Now, zebra, they are actually
Zebras.
born black and they have white stripes. You can tell from looking at their nose. Now, when zebra get nervous, they actually bunch themselves up into a big group. Makes them look like one big animal instead of several smaller ones. However, if they are by themselves and they feel a little bit threatened
only
or
one?
nervous,
Oh,
they
there's
actually
one.
have a super powerful kick that could break a lion's jaw. Now, if you look over to your right, kind of in all these trees, there is a white rhino hanging out. There's two of them. There's one that way, and there's one kind of diagonal from where I am. Now, white rhinos, they get their name from the Afrikaans word "wit," which means wide, because of their whiter faces. They also don't have too great an eyesight. They have pretty good peripheral vision, but looking forward, it is not so great. So they mostly rely on their sense of smell and hearing. But also looks like we are heading into big cat country. So everybody start keeping your eyes peeled for some cheetah. Now cheetah, they're actually the fastest land mammal in Africa. They have a top speed of 60 miles per hour, but they actually can't hold it for that long. They can only hold that speed for about 20 seconds. If they hold it any longer than that, they'll actually overheat. They're actually coming up on your left, kind of laying down more towards the back underneath some of the brush. There is a cheetah laying down. Cheetah do use their spots as camouflage, so they can be a little bit harder to spot.
I see it.
Now cheetah, they are built more for speed, not really power. So they are actually easily chased away by other big cats like lions. Actually, speaking of which, looks like we're coming up on a lot of people's favorite part of the safari. One of the many reasons that people wait in such long lines. It is the Kopi Rock Formation. Ta-da! Oh, nobody came to see rocks? Okay, well then I guess it is a good thing that the Kopi is a favorite hangout spot of lions. Lions love Kopi so much, one, because it is an excellent stunning spot, but also it is a really good lookout post. They like to kind of perch themselves on top of the rocks, look over the savannah, see what's happening. Now lions, they are inactive 16 to 20 hours out of the day, so usually when we see them, they are sleeping. Now lions, they are also the only ones out of the big cats that will hunt cooperatively as a group. However, the females, they're actually responsible for most of them hunting. The male, he's pretty much only around for protection. There are two female lions also laying down with that male.
It's ignoring you.
Hey.
It put his head
Now
down
on your right, actually looks like we have an ostrich. Also some bontabuck. Now bontabuck, they are that tinier antelope laying down, and they are nearly extinct in the wild. You can pretty much only see them on protected reserves like this. They're actually hunted for their coat, which in certain sunlights does give off this really pretty purple color. Now from nose to the tip of their tail, female lions, they are going to be about 5 feet. The male, he'll be about 8 feet. That also looks like there was an ostrich laying down, so we're gonna go see if maybe we can get a better view of that ostrich.
Aren't they the fastest land bird?
Looks like I'm seeing some burrows. Let's see if there's any burrowing animals. Oh yeah, actually, on the right of this tree over to your left, there are some warthogs. Now warthogs, they will either make their own burrow or take another animal's. And when they get nervous, they actually back themselves into their burrow, leaving those sharp tusks sticking out, because who is going to mess with you if your sharp tusks are sticking out? Absolutely nobody. Also on your right, if you kind of look over your right shoulder, there is an ostrich laying down. Now ostrich, they are the largest birds in Africa. However, they are flightless, so they actually use their wings to move themselves from left and right as they run. Now also, a lot of people think that when ostrich get nervous, they bury their head in the sand. It's actually not true. They actually just lay down and they press their neck and face into the sand. It does give the illusion of a buried head, but they don't actually bury it. Also, looks like we're heading into a fairly new part on the reserve. It's known as Magadi Glen. It was recently acquired from some farmers, so there isn't too many animals that live here, but there is a hope that they are slowly going to start to feel safer, maybe start migrating their way back. So we'll go check it out, see if there's anybody hanging out in here today. Yeah, actually, coming up on your left, they're going to be laying down on top of that hill. We do have 2 scimitar horned oryx. Now they get their name because their horns kind of resemble that Middle Eastern scimitar sword. Now they also have a higher body temperature than a lot of animals, so they actually won't break a sweat until they reach 115 degrees.
Whoa.
That white color on their coat, it also helps to reflect some of the sun's light, does keep them a lot cooler. Now, a place that I typically like to hang out, you can actually catch the train over in the Harambe station over there. It is Rafiki's Planet Watch. Now, Rafiki's, it is a super cool place where you can learn lots of really interesting veterinary and nutrition facts. You can also learn a lot of really cool ways that you can get involved in the conservation fight. A lot of the ways they are super fun and super easy. You can donate to a conservation fund like Disney's. You can learn more about the animals, start to spread your knowledge and awareness to friends and family. You can also recycle your old electronics. A lot of these animals, like the mandrills, are actually losing their habitat due to mining for a specific mineral that can be found in a lot of your electronics. So by recycling your old ones, or maybe ones that you just don't want anymore, you can really help to save their habitat. Now, if I have any wilderness explorers on board, first off, let me say it has been an honor having you aboard, but also the name of my truck is Simba 1. You will need that to get your safari badge on page 13. Now, guys, it does look like we are coming towards the end of your 2-week safari. So again, my name is Sarah. I was your safari driver. Now, it does look like the warden is giving me the all clear, so I'm going to go ahead and drop you guys off. Now, here in Harambe, we do not like to say goodbye. That is way too sad and way too final. And quite frankly, I'm not that good at goodbyes. So instead, we like to say Kwaherini, which means go well. So Kwaherini, everybody, John.